Joining me now, I'm thrilled to have her, is Deb Haaland. She is the congressional candidate for New Mexico's 1st District. Trust me, and we'll get into more of it, but trust me when I say I've been following her campaign for a while. Her views are great, her politics are great. She has an interesting story, and we're all pushing for her to win in November. So first of all, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you, Richard. Happy to be here.
Secondly, did I pronounce your last name right?
Haaland like the country, yes.
Haaland like the, was I close?
Yes,
okay,
you were great.
Good. My name is phonetic and people always get it wrong. Okay, so first of all, I guess I want to say you're running in New Mexico's 1st.
Yes.
And that is where? Is that the Albuquerque area? Or is
Indeed,
that
yes.
Yeah.
In the smack in the middle of New Mexico. It goes east and west from there and a little bit north and south of Albuquerque.
I actually love Albuquerque. It's one of my favorite places on earth, but I haven't been there in years. So let's go back. Let's roll back a little bit, if you don't mind. What got you involved in politics in the first place?
I started out as a phone volunteer. I wanted to see more Native folks getting to the polls and voting, so I started volunteering to make phone calls for candidates I liked. And that turned into me actually on the ground organizing, knocking on doors in Indian country, and which led me to run for lieutenant governor in 2014, which led me to run for state party chair in 2015, and now for Congress. So
you're interested in organizing Native people because you're Native American yourself, is that right?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, oh, which makes total sense. Just letting the audience know you're Native American.
Yes, I'm a member of Laguna Pueblo.
Oh, great.
It's an Indian pueblo about 40 miles west of Albuquerque.
Okay, great. And so, one of the reasons why I wanted to ask about your background is that I think we're seeing a rise of people who began with organizing and activism, getting into electoral politics, instead of my impression is the path used to be, you're a lawyer, let's be honest, a man.
I'm actually not a lawyer.
No, I'm saying the path for getting into office used to be, you're a lawyer, you're a man, you have an influential family, you have connections, you raise money, you run for office. It seems to me that the candidates like yourself, who come from an organizing background, a movement background, that it's really a new way, and I believe you were chair of the New Mexico Democratic Party too, right? So speaking to it from the political campaign management and organizing side of it, it seems to me like what you represent, besides the fact that we can get into your position on the issues, which I have liked very much, but it seems to me that what you represent is an organizing model or a movement model for electoral politics.
Well, sure. I think that's accurate because I feel like we won our primary election campaign with our field program. We were outspent 3-1 on, television ads, and so I feel very strongly that the field program we put together and the volunteers that we amassed to knock on doors and make phone calls actually helped us to win. We won handily. And so, yes, I'm an organizer first, and I just feel like that has pushed my candidacy truly.
So I'm going to ask you a question that I had a conversation on this program with Representative Pramila Jayapal about this. Because Pramila, who I'm sure you know, is from Seattle and also comes from an organizing background. And we've also talked with Keith Ellison and others about this. The notion that this new movement-driven politics, I'm curious to know your views of, assuming you get to Congress, and we shouldn't assume, we're going to encourage people to send you money shortly, but assuming you do, how does an elected official in this new model represent constituents and as part of a movement and work both within and outside the system for change?
Right. Well, I think that, for me, yes, I'm an organizer. I got Pramila Jayapal's endorsement for my primary election campaign, and part of she has a questionnaire, but part of her requirement for seeking her endorsement is to show you her field, to submit your field program to her. So she does believe in field, and I'm happy for that. I think that, for me, New Mexico is everyone probably says their district's unique, but I've worked in New Mexico for a long time. I've been on the ground for many, many years. I feel like I have a strong, very strong networking capability, and I've talked to thousands and thousands of voters in New Mexico. So, I almost feel like, yes, I know them very well. I know what to do. I know what they care about, and also, I'm a team player, right? We need to win the House back this election year. And so I am going to help any Democrats who are on ballots. We have a Democrat in we're trying to take over Steve Pierce's district too in southern New Mexico. And so, yes, I'm just gonna work hard.
Well, good. Now let's talk about the issues for a minute. Let's sort of pivot away from political organizing for a second. And talk about the issues. Where, for example, did you disagree with your primary opponent? Where will you be having differences of opinion with your opponent in November?
So I had 5 primary opponents. I won in a 6-way race. So primary is a little bit harder because a lot of times you're sort of on the same. You're sort of have the same platforms as some of the other folks. But as I said, the difference for me was that I had a very strong field program and we won on the doors. With respect to my Republican opponent, she, for example, at the last forum we had, she stated that Trump's policies are succeeding. I disagree with that. I don't think they're succeeding. Right now, his tariffs are hurting New Mexico farmers. We don't want his Supreme Court nominee. I mean, there's a lot of what I disagree with about him. Additionally, she doesn't believe in a woman's right to choose, and I do, and I think that the majority of women in the district are with me. For some of those reasons.
And what do you want? What would you want a national audience like that one, like the one that's listening now? What would you want them to know about your candidacy that I haven't asked you?
Sure. Well, it's not easy for a woman of color to run for office, much less the first Native American woman. So I think that. Can't ever take anything for granted. I feel like I worked extremely hard, and that, for me, that's always been the key. I've worked very hard and been successful at 90% of what I've done. We lost the 2014 election in the general election, but it doesn't mean you go home and not try again. So I just think that I have a strong work ethic. And if you want to win elections, that you need to get out there and pound the pavement and make sure you're doing everything you need to.
I think I couldn't agree with you more, and you should know. So where can people go to find out more about you?
You can go to debforcongress.com, DEBFOR. That is my website. We're also on Twitter, DEB4Congress, and Facebook, Deb Haaland for Congress. And yes, you can make a contribution to my campaign, no matter how small. We're proud of all of the grassroots donations we've gotten that has fueled my campaign. I have made pledges to not accept money from the NRA, from the fossil fuel industry, from payday lenders, from big pharma. So we are, we feel confident about our people-powered campaign, and folks can help us there.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your public service, and thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you.